Hey there, and welcome to part 3 of my multi-part tutorial on how to use a program, the editing program, Adobe Premiere Pro CS3. In the last two videos I explained how to, in the last two videos I explained what the best preset was for YouTube videos and also what the basics of each little box here. In this video, I will hopefully be explaining how to do basic editing, basic video transitions, and add a watermark. Now first, what you want to do is import your media. Now, there are multiple ways you can do this, either drag and drop, or right click and import, file, import, control I, all that, but I just like to drag and drop. So I'm going to drag and drop my logo, go into my videos folder, if I can find it. Oopsie. And drag and drop my bubbly plane, and also drag and drop my starting clip. Now I think that's the right starting clip. Let me check. Sorry about that. Alright, nope, wrong starting clip. Here's my right one. And just drag and drop it and it should automatically go in there. As you can see, if I wanted to, I could make a new bin, put all my videos in one of those bins, and the bins are just basically folders, and then put my logo in another bin, or keep it alone, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not using enough. But this little area, this is like a mini preview area, just to be sure that you have the right one. You can click on it, then scrub through it and play it. Same with this one, I can scrub through it and play it, although that's a pretty crappy window. But before we put that in our main video thingy, in our main editing timeline, you want to click on one and click on info. This will tell you what the size is, frames per second, all that stuff. Now what we want to do is get this on our timeline. So I'm going to drag my primary video on timeline on video track number 1. It will automatically put the audio on audio track number 1. Then I'm going to set my STG starting clip, or Space Up Game starting clip, on video track and audio track number 2, and I'm going to drag this over here to be behind my starting clip, and then I'm going to put I'm just going to leave my logo alone for right now. So as it is down here, you can view through it or play it, which is what this preview area is for. And as you notice, it's kind of like, well, how to say, well, there's a giant black box around it. Now that wouldn't look too good for rendering, now would it? So to fix that, all you have to do is click on it, grab one of the corners, drag it out till it looks good or whatever makes you happy, and it will automatically adjust the pixels for it to look the best, and it usually adjusts them to be pretty good. And when you play it, the pixels won't be that great, but that's normal because it has to kind of play through at the same time. So just when you render it, it's going to look a lot better than what the preview shows. Now if I click on this video, click in the timeline, then go into this and click on, and as you can see, effect controls should be selected. Then you can click on the motion and you can set the position. As you can see, it moves, and over here it moves. You can set it there if you would like. You can set the scale to be bigger or smaller. So this probably, using the scale here is probably a more accurate way, but that other way is just a little bit rough, quick way. Scale width you'll have to do by clicking on it and doing all that. And then the rotation, you can rotate it if you want it to look pretty creepy. So I'm just gonna, by the way, if you want to if you screw up and you want to undo something, press Control Z. If you screw up and like a long time ago and just notice it, go into history and click on one of these and it will take you there. You can also set your anchor point, your opacity. If you open up that triangle, you can set the opacity is pretty much transparency, so if you set it to 0 you can't see it, or you can make it darker, etc. If you were to put video on video, then you can make one darker than one more transparent than the other. And I'm not going to be going into the video on video because, as I said, this is a basic tutorial, which video on video isn't really basic, and I'm still confused about how to do it. Now if you click on audio, if you click on the volume, you can set the audio level if you set it to 0.0 decibels, 0.0 decibels, it will keep it whatever the video is recorded in. Or if you can make it louder or quieter depending on what you want to do with it. But right now I just want to get into basic editing. Now the pretty much easiest way is that if you want to say I don't want that flip right there, I can either hold in on the mouse and drag in or press Ctrl Z to undo it. I can press Ctrl K and split it and right click and cut it, but I'm not going to do that, so Ctrl Z. And that's how to get rid of the front part. Now say you wanted, I'm just going to say I wanted this part, and then at the end of this part, say I wanted this middle part over here. The easiest way would be to press and hold Control and then drag it over here, and it moves everything forward. What that does is extracts it and moves it forward, but I'm going to undo all of that. Now say you wanted to add a transition. Well, first, it's easier to do this if you zoom in, but remember that around your timeline, your current time indicator, your edit line, you zoom in around that. So it's best to put it in the area you want to edit. I wouldn't put it right directly on the area because that'll zoom in right on it, make it a little bit confusing. I'll put it a little bit outside of the area. So I'm going to put it about here since I want to add a transition. And since I zoom in, it's right there for me, and it's just easier. Now for transitions, you need to come into this little box, click on the Effects tab, and open up the video transitions. Up here, down here are a bunch of transitions you can choose. My favorite are the dissolve and then the additive dissolve. What you need to do is, hold on, drag that directly onto the clip, and then you need to bring that clip, say right there, and then once you play it, it will dissolve in that way. But if you wanted to say have the first clip dissolve, what did I just do? So even I screw up. You know what? That's weird. That's really weird. Okay. Now say I wanted to have it, you could drag it onto there too. And this one is it's probably best to put it on the front one and then drag this in to where the transition begins, because if you play it, if you look up there, it's a nice little dissolve right into it. And I need to fix it again because I had to re-import it, which is pretty annoying. Just can't believe I had to do during a tutorial. But anyway, it's all good. Didn't make me happy. Okay, there we go. So that's pretty much how to add basic video transitions. And you can play around with those, find which ones you like, and just do all that. And that's pretty much the same for any video clip. Now say you wanted to edit the audio. Well, another easy way would be to zoom in, and if you click on this, you can either move it up and down, which will affect the entire audio. Like bottom is mute and the highest is high audio. So if you press Alt Control and click, you'll set these little handles. Now what you can do is, okay, well I can't get that third handle on there. There we go. Well, now what you do is when you let go of Control, you can move these handles around and drag them down and kind of make yourself an audio transition if you want to. So if you play it, as you can see, it'll fade out pretty slowly, then faster there, then it'll get completely mute. But I just did a completely wrong thing because those were video handles and that made the video darker. So what I just did on the video line does the exact same thing, has the exact same effect on the volume line, audio line. Okay, well that was basics on how to how to edit. Basically, the next video will include rendering and also how to add the watermark. So thank you for watching part 3 of my tutorial on how to use Adobe Premiere Pro CS3.